Hello, and welcome to this very special end of year wrap up episode. This episode, we will be counting down our top 10 list of the year. So, we're going to break down our top 10 of 2020. Tammy.
2021?
Oh, my bad.
No,
2021.
it's cool because I was gonna say it's been a very long year. It's cool.
It's been a very long 2 years, like for real, for real. Like, dude, yeah, we've made it through another year.
Hmm.
The 2 years that I've seen like two fucking decades. Um, so yeah, I'm sorry. It does seem like deja vu though, in a lot of ways. So let's go ahead and get the hard stuff out the way. Let's start with the news. And we're not going to break down our complete top 10 list for both of us. We're just going to talk about our some of our top news stories. And then for the complete top 10 list, please check out the popcornwinedown.com. Pop, 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 pop. That's
Pop,
it.
pop,
That's
pop,
the
pop, pop.
plug for the complete list. All right. So, Tammy, what were some of your big news stories this year?
um, I would say one of the biggest was Astroworld, which just happened a couple weeks ago. With Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival, like that was huge and sad on how that ultimately ended with, I think, what are we up to, 11, 12 people that died during that event. So that yeah, that definitely like had me thinking because with somebody as young, like a kid, died during that event. Another thing was R. Kelly was found guilty. Justice was served, people. Justice was served. And that was only in one state because he got two more states to go through. So he was found guilty, but then also Bill Cosby was released from prison. So it's like a positive and a negative of the whole thing. So I guess, can we say that a little bit of this year was problematic Black men?
Yes, definitely.
We had a good number of problematic Black men this year in the news doing things that they shouldn't be doing. But those were like some of my major stories that just kind of really sat with me from this year. What about you, Eddie?
Um, I also had Astroworld, and it's still not over because the lawsuits are coming, and just the horrible way, um, the clusterfuck of a PR move,
Yes, that
that
interview
followed.
was trash.
I'm thinking that he didn't realize the severity of it, and I'm not even going to in the moment because I keep going back to in the moment as a performer on stage. Um, he until he saw what was really going on, and it does have a bit to say when the people were saying stop the show, that should have told him something as the performer. But before it got to him what was going on, everyone else, the people behind the scenes, they knew what was going on in that crowd, so they should have been the ones to go out there and tell him he need to stop or something like that. So at that moment, but it's everything. So it's that, but it's everything else that followed. His history of having these types of incidents, never to this magnitude, happened at his shows, and just the way that even in the beginning, it didn't seem to register to him that he couldn't PR his way out of this. Um, that this wasn't going to be, oh, let me go and partner with an online a psych service or mental health service, to get mental help. I can't just offer to pay for the funerals and be considered to be a hero or a good guy. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that this was a tragic event, and the way it was initially handled, did not seem to show this, that the sincerity behind the actions, or that you and your people, your team, understood just how tragic it was. So there have been over 300 lawsuits that have been filed, and they've been combined into one class action suit. So it's still not over, just the aftermath. But I did see that he is calling for a thing for festival safety. And I'm like, yeah, but dude, your festival is the only one that was just this fucked up. Like every other festival, when you go through the list of what the do's and don'ts, your festival is the one that seemed to have followed the don'ts, you know? So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, it was a tragedy, and it's just in hitting here in our hometown. I know you're from New Jersey, but you live here in Houston now, so this is your hometown.
It is not.
Um, Technically, it's not mine either, but you make your home here at the moment, so it's your hometown. Um, just go with it. So that was the Astroworld tragedy was a big one on my list. I agree with you. Bill Cosby, that that horrible. Just because he got off on a technicality, my people know he's not innocent, not by a long shot. He was not exonerated, not by a long shot. So cut it with the Bill Cosby got justice. He did not. The women that he terrorized and violated for all those years did not see any form of justice. Um, but on the flip side of that, hopefully, R. Kelly will rot in jail for the rest of his natural born pathetic life. And it's sad because he was so, so talented and just pissed. Sorry, poor choice of words. just, um, it just blew it all away. So yeah. Also, another one that made my list was from the real world. That is real world news, but from the political side of things, which we don't talk about a lot. But January 6th and the fallout from that, from what happened at the Capitol, and all the political fallout and the stuff that we're still feeling from all of that, made my list as a big, big news story, because our democracy is slipping away, and it seems like we're doing nothing about it, just watching it happen. And the things that we talk about in other countries, they're coming, especially with Supreme Court decisions that are looming. It is slowly, America is slowly becoming the country that no one thought it would be, and no one seems to be taking it serious. And those who are trying to sound the warning bells, as usual, are being called alarmist, or no, it can never happen. And you say that until it does happen. So that story and its fallout is one that I keep following very closely, and that is a big, big one for me. And also Rona continuing to ruin our fucking lives. Um, that's a big one. You got any others? I feel like we need a palate cleanser
BTS
story.
breaks
Yes.
the record for staying at number one on the Billboard charts, the longest ever. And even more of more amazing thing is that they're the first Asian act to do that. They're the only Asian act to actually do that, to hit number one like that. And they did it with 3 songs. Butter, of course, holds the record for being number one for the longest.
Fruit like butter,
There
creamer.
you go.
My
See,
bad.
I told you do it. Permission to Dance debuted at number one. My Universe debuted at number one. The collaboration that they did with Coldplay. So just the amazingness of what they have achieved this year. They definitely deserve recognition. So this is my opportunity just to recognize how much of a pop culture phenomenon they were this year.
Yes, and on top of last year, they that seems to be growing. And like you said, they did it with 3 singles. They didn't release an album this year. We're supposed to be getting one in 2022. That's the perfect palate cleanser from all that heaviness. And I also have that on my list too. So yay. Um, but yeah, so shout out to Donk Donk Soya Donk. I haven't said that in a while. I know it annoys you crazy when I say it. But big shout out to them, and I love it. Um, let's stay on a music tip. This year was a big year in music, although it seems kind of like 2020, where you just don't realize all the great music you got this year. So I know you don't listen to just a lot of whole albums. You're more of a single person. So what are some of your songs that have made your list this year?
Just name a couple. So the first time I heard this song, and even to this day, like it's still on my top 10. It stayed on my top 10 from when it premiered earlier this year to now. It's called Astronaut in the Ocean by Masked Wolf. Like I love that song. Like I love that song. Like I'm like right now this year I'm going through the thing where like I make playlists on if I'm walking somewhere or I'm just driving in my car and I need to be pumped up and everything like that. Like I have so many playlists that I play and I feel like that song is on every single one of those playlists that gotta pump me up for, you know, my day and everything like that, what's gonna happen. Ed Sheeran with Bad Habits. Love that one. My actual number one song based on Spotify was Rosario by Epic High. Really, really good. Some of my favorite artists, CL as well as Zico, was on that song. Really, really loved it. And Into You by JB, because I just can't go through this whole episode without mentioning a member of GOT7. Like I just can't do it. So I'm gonna mention JB. Like his whole album was amazing. But Into You is on repeat. Like I play it all the time. Yeah, that was just a couple of them that I really, really and Peaches by Justin Bieber. Like Justin
Back
Bieber
to
did a
Peaches.
great he did a
Back
really,
to
really good job on his
Yes.
album this year. So those were just a couple of my top 10 songs. And of course, you can visit the website in order to see the full list. But those are just a couple that really stand out to me that I thought artists that did an amazing job on staying on repeat on all of my playlists throughout the whole entire year. What about you, Eddie?
Oh gosh, this was the hardest one for me. Music is just because I listen to so much of it, and I just like I had to go back and just kind of look at different playlists and look at different things just to see what all. Um, so I yeah, this is I got "Easy on Me" by Adele. Love that song. Like it just yeah. I was making rum balls last night, and I was just like, hey, turn on some Adele. I didn't go to the Christmas music route, but yeah, I love that song. There's also this song called Easy by an artist Afghan. I love that song too. I got hooked on him through Jackson Wang. So he did a duet, he did a collab with Jackson, and I was like, and I loved his voice, and so I went and listened to his album, and it was amazing. And he's Indonesian actually, and I think this was just his second English album, but it's amazing. So that song Easy. Um, I think I mentioned this on our K-pop episode. There's a song called "Sad Kids" by Taemin. Love it. That's one of the ones that's probably on every one of my playlists. I have to agree with you. Peaches. Justin Bieber's Peaches. Kai's Peaches is good too, but Justin Bieber Peaches, that was the shit. It was probably one
Oh
of the most
shit.
pop.
Can I just say how I love that whole segue you just did? Good job, Eddie.
Thank you. Look at me after 3 years trying to become a professional.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yeah, so that was good. Pick Up Your Feelings, Jasmine Sullivan. Yes, even and I know that was the song and her album came out earlier in the year, but that's a song that whenever I hear it, it's just like, yeah, I gotta stop and sing it because it just gets played all the way through. Like it never gets old. Um, a newer song, My Universe, Coldplay and BTS, two of my favorites. And that collab was better than I thought it would be. Like you say, sometimes BTS can throw shit on a wall and people be like, oh, look at that. They just made the most amazing art. And then sometimes you're like, I love BTS, but that's still shit on a wall, you know. So with Coldplay and BTS, you thought you would have this instant thing, especially I know you didn't really care much for it, but when they did Fix You, I loved their version of Fix You. So I was like, oh, okay. But My Universe turned out to be so much better than I thought. I really, really like that song. Um, and my K-pop, oh, and Waves of Blue by Majid Jordan. It's a group out of Canada. They're on Drake's label, OVO. Division also had some good stuff dropped this year, but Essence by Kid is one of my favorite songs. It was amazing. Um, Lolo by 10 and Win Win, love it. Paint Me Naked by 10. And
Yang Yang.
It's win-win.
What?
Yes, it's win-win.
Wait, what?
Yes,
Yang Yang?
it's win-win.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes,
That's not how you pronounce it.
yes. Oh no, it's yang yang. My bad. Win-win is
I was
someone
just
else.
about to say, you're not getting me on that one.
No, I saw him today, and then I was like, win-win, yang yang. I get them confused. Those double N's. Okay. But no, yang yang. Yes, you're right.
It's because Win
Uh,
Win is actually a member of NCT as well. That's
NCT.
why I was just like,
Yeah.
no, it was
Okay.
just because you really had me like, no, wasn't it Yang Yang?
Yang
And I
yang.
was like, no, it
I.
was Yang Yang. She wrong.
You're right. I'm wrong. I get them confused. Because up until today, I was saying yang yang. Then I saw a picture of win-win, and I'm like, oh, okay. But no, you're right. It's yang yang. Okay. Yeah, so and of course other honorable mentions, I'll just name the artists. Tim's, her, TXT, JB, definitely, Yogium, EXO, so Monster X, Taylor Swift, Drake, like the Lil Nas X. Like I said, there has Audrey Nuna. There has been some amazing, amazing music dropped this year. And not all of it gets top 10 Billboard airplay or mentions, but it doesn't make it any less amazing. So I expanded my musical horizons this year, again, more and more. Um, but the two genres that I really used to love that I'm not finding um, much love for these days. I
Which
don't
ones?
country, and I know that even with the new wave of Black country artists, they are good, but they still don't get the love that they deserve. Like Breland, uh, and I know Mickey Guyton is the poster child for Black country artists, but I'm not a big Mickey Guyton fan. I did feature; she was featured on a website, and on Wind Down Radio as a spotlight artist, and I applaud everything she does, but I'm just not a big fan of her music, and and her and Kane Brown for breaking down those color barriers in that genre. But I like some of the lesser known country artists of color. And so that is my mission. And one of my missions in 2022 is to rediscover my love of country because I actually do like country music. But so that is one. And then also alternative rock. Like I love it, but you can always catch me going old school with 90s and early 2000s alternative. But nowadays I just haven't found like I guess I'm more of the indie alternative, like I like, and I guess I don't know if you can call them indie anymore, but like the Lumineers and stuff like that. But so that is my other mission in 2022 as far as music goes, is to get back into that a little bit more and see if I can find some more alternative and country artists that I just vibe with like that.
I had one country song that made it wasn't my top 10, but it made my top 15. It's When Was It Over by Sam Hunt and
Gabby, no, not Gabby Barrett, but
is it Sasha?
I know what you're talking about. Yes,
Yeah, but I love that song. Like love it. It's
yes,
in my top 15. But it just didn't make the top 10. So I didn't mention it. But I think like and I agree with you. I am a huge fan of country music as well. Even with all its problematic ways. I still really, really love the music. And it was very, very rare for me to find a song that came out that like made my list. Like I put on my playlist or I clicked like to the song. So yeah, I would agree with you that hopefully 2022, is better than what 2021 gave us.
yeah. So, but yeah, I know what song you're talking about, and I love it too. I love Sam Hunt. He had some good stuff coming out this year. He did a collab with Breland too, so he's one of my, and they consider him, crossover new alternative country or whatever, because he's not old school, just singing about his truck and his dog. But
And all the beer he's drinking on the weekend.
yeah, but so Sam Hunt is one of my favorites and stuff. So I hope that And speaking of country and all this shit, Morgan Wallen, or Waylon, he just released a song with Little Dirk, so I guess he's trying to make his comeback or whatever, hoping people forget that he also, talked a good game, did the PR stunt, but he didn't live up to the promises that he made as far as rehabbing his career. So, maybe him and Lil Baby, the baby, sorry, Lil Baby, not Lil Baby, but the baby could have a talk about being full of shit like that.
Oh, that was a good one.
So yeah. Um, Albums. I know you're not big on albums, so I'm just gonna mention a few of my top albums. Um, Although you do have some albums, even though they're K-pop, you should talk about them. Let the people know who may not have listened to our K-pop episode. What were some of your big albums that you listened to? Because you do listen to K-pop
No,
albums.
no, no, you go first. You can't put me on the spot like that. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
What were some of your top albums? And then I can think off the top of my head of some of them. So you tell me what you
Okay.
got.
Hotels. Jasmine Sullivan. Loved it. Loved it. For a person who at one point in time was done with the music industry and this was her big comeback, she dropped the mic. It was amazing. Loved Hotels. Loved her. Lucky Day, Table for Two. Whiz Kid was amazing. Orange, by Tim's, was good. Um, Gosh, what else? Don't Fight the Feeling. Monster X. I'm just gonna put Monster X. They dropped three fucking albums within a period of about what, 6 months. Two of them within a period of 1 month. And all of them were really, really good. Gambler was dropped right before Shonu went to the military, I guess in the summer, or late summer, early fall. And then, gosh, I'm having brain farts. What was the one they dropped before
Rush
Just
Hour.
Dreaming? Yeah, they dropped Rush Hour like at the beginning of December, and then just a week ago they dropped This Is the Dreaming, which is their second English album. And none of those three albums sound anything alike, and they're all really good. So I have to give it up to Monster X. And I was like, as I narrow this down and make the list, I was like, can I put all three in my top 10? I was like, I'm just going to put Monster X and then all three albums and give them a ranking because, they work really, really hard. I don't know if anybody appreciates just how hard Monster X works, um, and all the music that they drop. But I think they're so underrated and probably probably overshadowed by BTS. But they are just as good. They're their own group, but they are just as good. Justice by Justin Bieber. Aside from the random MLK monologues that are in the song, or that are in the album, and the weird the weird album title, it actually is a really, really good album. I was surprised that I liked two albums. I was surprised that I liked the full length Montero. Like, that album is really, really good, by Little Nas X. Um, and I thought, oh, I might like a couple of songs, but I actually liked the whole album. And I'm not a big fan of Doja Cat, but I loved Planet Her. It was a really good album. So yeah, and so to see what actually makes my top 10, you will probably have to tune in to, not probably, but you'll have to check it out on the website. What about you?
All right, this is just off the top of my head, flying. Because I don't do albums. I really am a singles person. I do a lot of singles that come out. It's very, very rare that I focus on a whole album, but there are some albums that I thought were really, really good. So I have there is a boy group called Why Don't We? And they came out with, I guess you would call it a mini album. Like, it was like maybe 5 songs, I think. And I loved it. Like, I played it over and over again when it first came out. I'm a fan of theirs. JB had an amazing, amazing album. Somo thought he did an amazing job on it, going to higher music and coming out with his own style and his own sound. Justin Bieber, I agree with you on the whole, you take out the whole MLK thing and it's a great album, I think the whole MLK speech that he put into it brings down the value of his Peaches album. Like, I think it brings down the volume a little bit. But when you just kind of ignore that part, it is a great album that he put out this year. TXT, awesome job. Love it. Chaos Chapter, Freeze, like this, that is the group that was being overshadowed by BTS. They were called the baby BTS and everything like that. And they have, over these 2 years of COVID, have completely come out of BTS shadow, and they are shining on their own. And I'm so, so happy to see how absolutely amazing they are as they find their own sound. Awesome job. Like, just phenomenal job. Can't wait to see what they do in 2022. Monster X, definitely, like, that's an all-around group. Like, every single one of their rappers can sing. They can dance, sing, rap. Like, they're awesome. Their side gigs, like, amazing. They got actors and DJs, and it's just awesome on how much they do. Kai just came out with his album, loved it, which is also called Peaches. And then 17, Attica, just came out, and I thought Attica, I didn't like their previous album that they came out with, but Attica definitely made up for the disappointment of their previous album that they came out with. So that's off just the top of my head on the albums that really hit me. See, all of them weren't K-pop. I got some English speaking ones there too.
They don't. I do like Why Don't We? They didn't make my list, but
Oh, okay.
I do
Because I
like
know,
them.
like, I didn't realize, like, they're kind of like a big deal, but I didn't realize that. I was just like, oh, I like them, and I'm like talking to people, and they were like, oh yeah, we've heard of them, and I was just like, for real? I said, oh, I thought it was just me, but yeah, like, I like them. I'm a fan.
Yeah, they were one of my YouTube discoveries. You know, the last 2 years I've watched a lot of YouTube. Um,
Yes.
and so they were just kind of like a group. I think I was watching something, it just came up. I'm like, oh, let me see. And I think it was like the L Song Association things, and they actually start singing. And so I was like, oh, they can sing, okay. And I went and checked out their album, and I was like, oh, okay, I like them. They were good. I agree with 100% on what you said about JB. Of course, obviously, but TXT is the main one. That they really have come into their own and stepped out of Big Brother's shadow. You know, and I, BTS is BTS. So, and I've said it before. That comparison, that calling them baby BTS, kind of turned me off of them at first, and I was not a fan of their first album. So when I went back and listened to it, I was like, eh. And then the album that they released, was it Paradise? I forgot what it was, last year. The first one that they released during quarantine.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forgot what the name is though.
That one, I was like, oh, okay. So I went back and I re-listened to their previous stuff, and I still was not a big fan of the first one, but I liked everyone after that. And so as they've grown and started to come into their own, they have been. I'm like, yes. I think they're starting to find their sound, like, and they have a hybrid sound, you know. And Chaos Chapter Freeze just blew everything else out of the water. It was amazing. So I loved that. And that will probably definitely be on the top 10 somewhere. So yeah. Like I said, you didn't realize just how big of a year it was for music. Silk Sonic, that album is amazing. It's a throwback to like 70s, just 70s soul. A little before my time, but just going back to that sound, it kind of reminds me of. And there's just an ingenious way. Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars together. It's just it. I see why Bootsy Collins gave him that name, because their sound is just like smooth like silk, not like butter, but just like silk. It's just, yeah. So yeah, and Adele. Is Adele gonna make your list, or would
No,
Adele make your list?
it
No.
won't. And I told you, like, I listened to Adele again, and I will retract the fact that I'm not fully disappointed in it, but I don't think it was her best work. I don't think it was her best work, but it's not as disappointing as I thought it was, but it's definitely not going to make any of my top list.
Well, okay. I can respect that. I'm just looking at all the stuff I have on my list. I'm like, how the hell am I going to whittle this down? So I might have to do top 10, maybe top 15, and some honorable mentions.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to the top 10, y'all.
It's the same thing with the songs. I'm like, yeah, I could just do a whole show on music. But yeah, okay. So we'll go with what spin the wheel. Where is it landing? TV shows. Yay!
Woo!
Okay. So you go first. What are some of your favorite TV?
I've been going first for a minute.
I did.
I went first for the first two, so you go first for the next two. Go ahead. What were some of your favorite shows, Eddie?
Fine. Be like that then. Um, one of my favorite shows. It was a new show, and it kind of comes in with that whole built-in. You're gonna like it because it was a superhero show. But I really, really loved the show, and I was surprised at just how good it was. And that was Superman and Lois. Have you watched it yet?
I'm halfway through.
Yeah. And again, the first part, and I was like, yeah, the first part, okay, the world building part of it. So the first couple episodes, you're like, oh, yeah, it's going to be another formulaic show. I'm just going to watch it because, but it really, really, once it found its legs and its footing, I was like, yeah, this is my show. I loved it. Superman and Lois. I look forward to season 2. And I love the fact that this iteration of Lois Lane is not just his girlfriend, his wife, his side piece. She doesn't need him to save her. I love that they actually made her a fully realized character in her own right. And seeing how they handle having being parents and family and all that kind of stuff, I like to show the kids. His kids start off annoying as fuck, and then they, like I said, they start to come into their own, and it's like, oh, okay, because you're like, why did they? At first, I was like, why did they have to give them kids again? Like, can someone give them a kryptonite bath and just be done with it? And I'm sorry, that sounds horrible,
Oh, dang.
but again, like I said, once it comes into their own and they develop the characters more, it's like, okay, it. So yeah, Superman and Lois, All American, of course, love it, and it is good. And they kind of did what we said they were gonna do. Have you watched it yet?
No, so please don't spoil it for me.
Oh, okay. I'm not. I will say this. I'm not going to tell you what happened, but they did do what we said they were going to do in kind of the first half of the season
Jump.
so far. Yeah, they did.
Okay.
They still talk. They still handle the big moments, but they don't spend a whole episode. So I think when it comes back from winter break, we're going to get to the graduation and them going off the college part. So, but it's good. So, All American, of course. Um, what else? Chicago PD is still my show. I love it. A show that gets better with time to me, which has definitely gotten better since it first came on, is Station 19. Um, and I say that even though I find myself lately not really particularly caring for the main character of Andy. Um, I like all the other characters around more than I like the main character. I used to like her, but I think they're taking too long for her to find herself. She's just a hot mess, and there's only so long you can have your main character be a hot mess. So
They did it for like 10 years with Meredith.
yeah, so she needs to but her hot messiness is worse than Meredith. She needs to get her shit together. When you let a fine specimen of a man like Boris Kojo get away, you a hot fucking mess. So. Also, it is a damn shame where a show about a fucking serial killer.
Hey, there's a lot of people that love Dexter, so
Yes. I don't know. Joe and Dexter need to have a meeting. I don't know who would make it out of that meeting alive, but yeah, it's And when your crazy meets someone else's crazy and their crazy makes your crazy seem sane. Like when you have two psychopaths in a relationship and one makes and that one person makes you seem like you're the same one in the and you like batshit crazy. Like, yeah, but you is so good. I love it. So that also made my list. And of course, True Beauty and Vincenzo. There are some others that will have to see what actually makes the final top 10 list, but you can definitely count on seeing True Beauty and Vincenzo on that list. I can't say it enough. Vincenzo, Vincenzo, Vincenzo. Um,
Casano.
Casano, yes. The Italian Korean mob consigliere, who's just a stone cold, like, I cannot
Badass.
recommend badass. Like when people tell me they like Squid Game, I said, but have you seen Vincenzo?
Yes, everything goes back to Vincenzo.
And they're like, I'm like, no. If you like Squid Game, then you're all in. And true enough, I don't know if they've gone back and dubbed Vincenzo.
They
I
have
know
not.
they have not. So,
No.
but and that's what I tell them. I'm like, look, I know Squid Game's dubbed, all that, great. I'm like, but Vincenzo is still worth the captions, dog. Like, just go back and read it. It's all good. Vincenzo is the bomb. So yeah, those are some of my favorite TV shows. What about you?
Um, we have very, very different lists, Eddie. So of course, everybody knows this. I'm gonna say it again, but everybody knows this. I have a bubble that I'm usually in, and I've been in it for almost 2 years, and that's my K-drama bubble. So at least half of my list are really, really good Korean dramas. So on my list, I will say, for anyone that wouldn't already figure it out, Vincenzo is definitely on my list of my top 10. I loved it. And you can watch it over and over again. Like that's how good it is. Like I will watch it again and read the subtitles.
It's so good. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's so good that it's one of those shows. Like I said, I think I said this during our K-pop wrap up. At first, once you get used to the fact that most of the Korean dramas are one and done, and that's because they probably put 5 seasons worth of stuff into one season. And because of the length, like they average what 80 to 90 minutes per episode, and then each of them, and most of them are about 20, 22 episodes. So that's a good, once you do the math, it's probably about a good 2 to 3 seasons of an American drama. Vincenzo is one of the few ones that I'm like, yes, I would love to see a season two. Like, love the seasons. That and Rugal, Dessert. I would love to see more episodes of those two shows. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Um, I also have True Beauty. True Beauty about a girl who is bullied, goes to a new high school, discovers makeup, and becomes like one of the most popular girls in her school. And then her past catches up with her. I love that. And I said it before in our K pop wrap up that I still cannot watch the first 2 episodes because it's just so heartbreaking on the whole bullying situation that she goes through before she goes to her new high school and actually finds herself. Run On. I love Run On. Like I love Run On so much that I never really write pop reviews, quick pops, and I did a quick pop for Run On, like because I really, really love that show. Like I think it's so underrated within the K drama realm. Some of my other ones was Love Victor. I loved the second season of Love Victor. Cannot wait for season 3, which is coming out next year. Really, really excited about that. WandaVision was good. Did not expect that. First 2 episodes, I had to suffer through the first 2 episodes, but then after those 2 episodes, it turned out to be a phenomenal Marvel series. Very like it surprised me. So WandaVision definitely made the list. Bridgerton, that was a big hit this year. Like everybody was all about Bridget. Like people were having Bridgerton parties. Bridgerton
Yes.
themed parties.
Can't
So
wait to set season two.
yes,
Bridgerton, yes.
and season 2 comes out next year, and I am super, super excited. I was one of those people like, oh, I read the books. Like I read the Bridgerton books. So I know like season 2 is not gonna have the sexy Duke of Hastings, but still, it's going to be really, really good. Like the second book is so good. So I'm really, really excited about that. Young Royals, we did a quick pop about that. Well, we did a
Extra
bonus
butter.
episode about it. And I love Young Royals. And I do want to say as well, that has been renewed for a second season. Don't know when it's coming out, but I'm really, really excited to see what happens with William and Simon. All American, one of like, I can watch All American over and over again. Like that is so good, and it gets better every season.
And
Like it
it's
has not had a slump yet. Like there's not been a slump for All American yet. I love that. I just love that. And I agree with you on Chicago PD. There are a couple more that made my list, but those are the ones that I'm just going to mention. And like I keep saying, if you want to see the whole list, just go to our website, popcornwinedown.com, to see our full top 10 list.
yeah. I agree with you. You mentioned some that are also on my list that I did not talk about, but yeah, they were. I am looking for. I'm glad the Royals got renewed, fine, an official renewal, and it will be interesting to see how that plays out. I am actually looking forward, and I'm what surprised me about Bridgerton. I think I mentioned it during our K-pop episode. I'm not really one into period pieces like historical
Mm-hmm.
dramas and stuff like that. So it has to be something that just kind of gets me. I don't know if it's the history nerd in me where I'm like, this is, and I'm one of the people that just kind of subconsciously goes through and kind of picks out the inaccuracies of something. I don't know what it is, but I'm just not crazy about them. But I loved Bridgerton, and that surprised me. And even though we won't have the sexy Duke of Hastings, all the
And
other
his full on like Oscar level pull out game.
yes, 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 because bro has his pull out game was definitely strong.
Yes.
Uh, because he looked like he was lost up in that, but he pulled out.
Every time.
She's like, "Am I hurting you?" But so but yeah, so Bridgerton, I'm looking forward to the second season of that as well, and maybe one day Wu Assassins will get a wrap up, but it's all good. Netflix, I understand. Maybe once we write our Christmas movie and we get that Netflix meeting, I can ask them what they're doing with Wu Assassins. For those of you that want to know what we're talking about, check out our Christmas episode, Single All the Way, on a podcast near you. See what I did there?
Yes. Plug.
So yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of your list. You have some really good ones on there. I want to see if there are any other K dramas I might want to watch. Since we've kind of made it our mission to add do a few more K dramas. Although you don't watch K movies though, you don't watch the movies, do you?
I haven't gotten into the realm of movies yet. Not to say that I won't watch them, but because there was one movie that I wanted to watch. It's called Pipeline, but you have to pay to rent it. It wasn't on any of the sites that I have an account, like a subscription for.
Mm-hmm.
So because I had to rent it, I just kind of put it on the back burner of watching it. But I heard it was really, really, really good. So Pipeline was one of the movies, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But hopefully, like next year, I can get into the movies as well, because I hear those are just as good. The acting is phenomenal, because that's what gets me every time. They have like really, really, really great actors, and that like I love shows that the acting is just off the charts, like storyline, but when you can act through it, especially with such a conservative like viewpoint on relationships and stuff, so you're not watching it for like the sex scenes or stuff or that kind of stuff. You're watching it for the genuine like falling in love and relationships, as well as the actual drama, without taking a pause to be like, hey, we about to have sex and then we're gonna get back to the regular show. Like, nope, they don't pause on that, because they don't have that really in their dramas. Not to say it doesn't happen, it does, but it's
Fully
not
clothed.
common, and it's like one time. Like they do like one scene with it, and then
Fully
it's
clothed.
over, huh?
Fully clothed.
Yeah, fully clothed. Like it's very, very like you're never like I think Nevertheless, which was a Netflix, it premiered on Netflix, was very, very like sexual, but that was about literally a fuck boy. So they had to have multiple sex scenes in order to portray the story. which I don't recommend you actually watching the show because it was very boring. But that's sad, seeing as how it was about a fuckboy. But yeah, so I love the fact of like it's actually the story that sells me rather than the whole like, yo, they about to have sex, like they about to get it in. I'm like, they're not gonna get it in, so I'm gonna have to fall in love with them talking about it and actually showing them falling. Because we in our dramas, you ever notice like the relationships happen so quickly? Like there's no like I feel like a lot of times like it's like the sex and it'd be like, oh shoot, now they're in a relationship. Like that's the end point or the beginning point, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, I think, and I think that I love the romanticism of it all because I'm a romantic at heart. Yes, this cold hearted thing is a hopeless romantic at heart. I do. It's never happened for me, but I do believe in love at first sight. I do believe in the possibility of having your soulmate. Do I believe that everyone finds their soulmate? No. Do I believe you can be happy without your soulmate? Yes. So it's not that it's your soulmate all or nothing, but I do believe in those things. And I think just in general in society, we've become so sex focused that even that's what makes dating so hard, is because it's like what it's like everything seems to be engineered to get into your pants, you know. It seems to be engineered around sex, and it's no longer, and then after, and so the sex comes first, then the getting to know you comes later. So you find that you may not be compatible outside of the bedroom, you know. So I agree with you on that sense, but I also think that in some of these dramas it's a little bit too conservative, because there are moments where you can show a sex scene without it all being sex if it was natural. And an example of that is My Name, which I know we're going to do one. It's going to be one of the shows that we review next year, and that was a very genuine, organic type of thing, you know. So yeah, I think there's a middle ground between the way we do it and the way they do it that could be met somewhere.
I agree.
Um, Okay, so takes us to, I think, our last category,
Yes.
movies, the big one. Um, I went back and again watched. We consume so much entertainment that it sometimes becomes hard to keep up with. So I had to go back and like, what did I watch this year? So some of these that I'm mentioning, they're not all that watched, and I don't even know if they will make the final list, but they're the ones that just are the most prevalent in my mind right now. And some of them I know aren't going to make the list, but I think that they just deserve a mention. So that's what this is. So for movies, you're definitely probably going to have to tune into the list. But Zola was really, really good. I highly recommend it. It was about a sex worker, the hooker, who she talked about this crazy ass night she had on Twitter, and her Twitter post went viral, and they actually made a movie about it, and that is Zola. I recommend it. It's really good. Boogie was also really good. Both of them start, and I can't even remember the name right now. I'm having I'm having a moment. I'm having one of my brain farts where I just go blank on the names. So I'll have to find it and uh, come back with the name. But Boogie was really good, about a Chinese kid who's a basketball prodigy in the basketball mecca, New York. And he has NBA dreams, which get fucked over by his parents, and he's just trying to like figure it all out. Really, really good movie. And what else? Judas and the Black Messiah, definitely one of my favorite movies of the year. Um, it was deep, but it was really, really good. Um, Passing on Netflix was good. Um, it is also one of those really, really deep movies. I watched it when I was at home sick, and I was like, I think I might be too sick for this. Like, it was one of those movies where, you know, when you're sick, you kind of want to watch stuff that doesn't make you think too much because your head already
Mm-hmm.
hurts, and you can't sleep because you've slept too much. So you're just up, and it's like, and so I was like, holy shit. And I kind of knew the subject was, I knew what it was about in the 20s. a black woman who was passing as white, and lighter skinned black women did it a lot. It was something that happened. It wasn't unheard of. And so it was just the way, so I knew it was about that going in, but it's one of those where it just, the meaning just got so much deeper, and I was like, holy shit, this is a lot. Um, but it was really good. Um, and then Cruella. I love that movie. It was really good. So much better than I thought it was going to be. It was also one of the first movie that got me back into the movie theater. And I watched it recently again, and it's still just as good. And I'm looking forward to Cruella 2. Spoiler alert for those of you that didn't know, there is going to be a sequel. So I liked it, and she's definitely the anti-hero, because we all know who Cruella Deville turns out to be, and you kind of wish they could do a switcheroo. I mean, she is who she is, so you know she'll never be 100% good, but you know you don't necessarily want to think about her being a woman who skins all these Dalmatians either. So uh, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, loved it. Yes, it's a superhero movie, but it's still just as good. And also, I'm gonna pull a you. Remember last year when you put Wonder Woman on your list before you even saw it?
Yes.
So I am doing that this year with Spider-Man. Uh, Here's the thing about Spider-Man. I heard it's really, really good. I want to go see Spider-Man. I have tickets to go see Spider-Man, as a matter of fact. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to see it when I'm supposed to see it, because the theaters are sold out. And my showing for Spider-Man, like, you know, our trick to get around that, right?
Yep.
Every single seat. I just checked again today to make sure. And I'm like, yeah, I might have to take an L on that viewing, and just go to a different time, because it's like with this new variant, and like everyone in other places are talking about shutdowns and how seriously they're taking it. I'm like, y'all got this theater crowded like it's 2019, 2018. Like, there is no room to breathe. And, you know, during a normal day, during normal times, I didn't like to be in theaters like that. I didn't like to be crowded in like that. So I damn sure don't want to go during the resurgence of a fucking pandemic with a new variant that is still too much unknown about it. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to go see Spider Man like first thing when nobody is there. But yes, that has already made my list. And like I said, this is just a tease. This is just a taste. Some of these will actually make the final list, and some of them were just ones that I thought needed to be discussed. Also, Bruised with Halle Berry. She did a great job for her directing her first movie. And you hear UFC movie, but it's not quite what you think. It's not a full fledged UFC movie. It is really actually pretty good. So, what about you? What made your list?
Um, so I will say Cruella and Judas and the Black Messiah also made my list. I thought they were phenomenal. The acting for Judas and the Black Messiah was just off the charts. Like, it was just absolutely amazing. Shang-Chi also made my list, so I'll just put that out there. Couple of other ones that you didn't mention that made my list was West Side Story. I saw West Side Story actually the night that it premiered. And yeah, like it was really good. I'm a huge movie musical person. I loved it. West Side Story, the original, is one of my favorite movie musicals that I've seen. So I was very excited about this remake. Also, I love what's his name? Ansel?
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
I know we were supposed to review it, but it didn't come on HBO like we thought. So I think, and I still want to keep it on the list so we can, you know, I don't know if we discussed that like in our meeting, so we can do it now. I still want to keep it on the list, so I still want to review it. Having said that, I haven't seen it yet, but I intended to see it over this break time. And they were talking about, because I heard it was really, really good. They say it's probably one of Steven Spielberg's best, and I know everyone was kind of skeptical about him actually doing a musical. But they said the reason why you say you love it. Do you think Ansel and Ainsworth, I can't pronounce his last name, and his getting caught up in that whole Me Too, uh, his brush with all of that. Do you think that's maybe why the movie hasn't done as well as as they thought it would do before Spider-Man? Because now Spider-Man is just going to eat it up. Let's just be honest about that.
No,
Should they have probably released it on HBO's Max as well, like they intended to do originally?
I think they should have released it on HBO Max. And the reason why is because it's a movie musical. That's not like people just don't do movie musicals as much as, and also they like you're releasing it during a very, very crowded season. And I get it, but Spider-Man is literally a week after West Side Story. So now you're making nothing. You're making nothing during a pandemic. And then next week we got The Matrix, The Kingsman. Like you have like 3 additional movies that is coming out. But I think partly I don't think it was his scandal with that, because even when I saw it, I remember something happening, but I actually didn't remember exactly what his scandal was. I knew he had a scandal. I just couldn't remember what it was. So that was my mindset. So I just went to watch it, just to enjoy it because I'm a huge fan of it. And I agree. I think it was phenomenal. I wish it did better, but I think they should have released it on HBO Max as well.
Yeah, because that was, and I know when we, because we usually try to plan these things out really, really carefully and really well because of, both of our other obligations and time constraints. So, and I know we both double checked and made sure it was coming on HBO Max, and with this was one of the tightest turnaround windows we had for reviewing, right?
Yeah, because
So
yeah.
yeah, and so I was like, dude, this is not on HBO Max. It was supposed to be on HBO Max, right? And you were like, yeah. So I think that was a big thing too, that a lot of people were intending or planning to watch it on HBO Max. And Steven Bill Spielberg, being Steven Spielberg, has that kind of clout where he can say no, but I think ultimately that was a mistake. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
he
Okay.
hurt he hurt the success of it. But I would say go see it if you haven't seen it. It really, really is good. It's really good. Like if you love the original, if you're a fan, go see the remake. Steven Spielberg, amazing job on it. I also have The Many Saints of Newark, which was sold as a story of Tony Soprano, which is not a story of Tony Soprano, but it's basically his uncle who influenced him in becoming who he ultimately becomes, which is like the big mob boss of New York. I mean, not New York, of New Jersey. So I really, really love that movie. Another one that's on my list is U.S. versus Billie Holiday. Um, Audra Day did a phenomenal job playing Billie Holiday. I really, really like it hit me. I felt the emotions while watching her performance. I thought like her performance was Oscar worthy. Like she should have won the Oscar for just how phenomenal she was in that role. So that's just a couple of them that made my list of top 10 movies. One thing I will say is I did not go and see as many movies as I normally would. So I watched a whole bunch of TV shows. Like TV shows, I can give you a list for days. But when it comes to movies, it was a little difficult to find my top 10 because I realized I haven't watched as many as I normally would. So I'm going to have to change that in 2022.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I went back to a lot of the stuff that we reviewed, and like I said, we consume so much, and that's not a complaint because it gives me an excuse to actually do something with all this stuff because I would normally be watching and listening to all of this stuff anyway. But it just gives an outlet because we would have these conversations anyway about the stuff that we watched, and so I think this just gives us a different outlet to discuss it. So, but I did not go to the movies. Normally, I go to the movies pre-Rona. I would have gone to the movies at least once a week,
Yes, every
to see
weekend I'd have been
something.
there.
Um, Pre-Rona, even though it would have annoyed me because I just hate crowded movie theaters, I still would have gone to see Spider-Man. Even probably if it had been a month ago, before this new variant hit, I probably still would have taken a chance because of, different things. But now it's just like, is it? I think the reason why I haven't gone as much is just because of Rona, and especially to the popular movies, like Shang-Chi and Black Widow, where you got to do some hustling to get you some space. Um, so I really think, especially since this seems to be the new normal, because people don't want to fucking do right, Omicron is not the end. These variants are going to keep on coming. You're going to have to keep getting boosted because people just don't want to fucking, because they keep doing their own badass research on horrible shit. Um, Let me just say that. But so it's just like, yeah. But at one point I actually thought about getting rid of my movie thing, but I was like, but what I pay for 1 month is basically the cost of one movie. So even if I
Yep,
just go to one movie a month, it still covers itself.
I
But
agree. That's why I ain't
um,
getting rid of it. I'm gonna keep it.
yeah. So anyway, I look forward. I really do look forward to seeing your top 10, and I look forward to seeing what 2022 has in store as far as entertainment. There are some shows that I'm looking forward to. Are you looking forward to seeing Emily in Paris Part 2, second season?
I am. Comes out on Wednesday,
I
which
am.
I think is when this episode drops. No, it drops after. Sorry. But yes, but I'm also very excited. I almost put it on my list without starting to watch it yet. Witcher season 2. I know you don't watch The Witcher, but I'm a huge fan of the TV show The Witcher on Netflix, and it just premiered its season 2. And I just started it. Well, I'm rewatching season 1 before I start season 2. And I was just like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But I'm super excited to see what season 2 brings for The Witcher, as well as Emily in Paris. I'd like to know how she's going to handle the fact that, she slept with old dude and now he's staying.
Yes.
And
Um.
then, there's another show, Snowdrop, which I've told you about. Definitely excited to see Snowdrop, which is just a drama based in the 1980s, during one of Korea's like big revolutions that they had multiple times, and trying to protect injured soldier during that time when he just stumbles into an all girls dorm, and they have to protect him from getting caught while taking care of him because he's been shot multiple times. So it just seemed really, really interesting. So I'm excited for that show, which everybody's anticipating because it, stars one of Blackpink's members.
Is that the one that's going to be on Disney?
I don't know if that one's going to be on Disney. I know Disney's said that they're getting into the K-drama world, but I don't. I think that may be, yeah. I think that may be one of the dramas that's supposed to, but I think it's going to come out on Disney Plus after it premieres
in Korea.
In Korea. So, but the one of the subscriptions that I have is going to be premiering on there in real time. So I'm just going to watch it then.
Oh, and Vicky.
Yeah, on Vicky.
Yeah, what you said earlier before we wrap up, I agree with you. It's hard to rent a movie now, when you pay for all these other subscriptions. And then I personally would just rather wait for it to go on sale and add it to my library. Like, if I rent it now for $5.99, I can get it for $9.99 when it goes on sale,
Yeah.
or wait a year and get it for $4.99 or just cheaper. So I don't. It's very, very rare that I rent a movie. I'll just buy it, or I'll just wait, or I'll just go to the movie. So yeah, that's some of the things I'm looking forward to in 2022, and I guess we can talk more about that on our Go Goblets, or the shit that got us through 2021 episode, and then kind of what we're looking forward to in 2022. But
see, that's the plug on. Stay tuned for our continued wrap up of 2021 with our episode, our award show called the Golden Goblets, second annual Golden Goblets, that is going to be coming out. And our episode, we did it last year, and I think like it was really, really good. Shit that got us through 2021. So yeah, definitely stay tuned to those episodes. It'll be interesting to see our end of year commentary, especially you, Eddie, because Eddie never knows how to break down her list.
I don't.
So she always has like, she'd be like, well, can I do like more than one? And I'm like, no, Eddie, you got to do one. Well, I have 3, so I'm just going to do my 3. So I'm excited to see like how far she goes in the numbers for all of these categories for giving away the awards.
Yeah, like as you can see, people, I'm telling you, I don't even have a true top 10 list. Like my list could go on forever and ever. And I just randomly chose some stuff off of these lists. So it's going to be a pleasure to break them down and get them posted for you all. But that does it for this episode. And thank you so much for joining us and for being part of the audience. And we hope that you enjoyed our top 10. And we actually look forward to hearing about your top 10. So, drop us some comments on the website or, on the podcast sites. Don't be sure to leave a rating for us as always. But so I guess we will get out of here and do this formal wrap up. You got anything to say before we close it out?
No.
You're just like, no, like, okay. So that does it for this week, for this episode of, I can't call it extra butter, but for this wrap up episode of our top 10 of the top 21. Be sure to please listen, like, and follow and comment on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and or Spotify Podcasts. You can also keep up to date on the latest in entertainment and pop culture news, as well as other amazing kernels at the Popcorn Wind Down. Please be sure to check us out in the new year. You got a new website and new formats coming to you. I'm working hard on that. That's why we're kind of on a little bit of a hiatus. That is what I will be doing. But that's it. That's the plug. Pop. And hopefully for the new year, I will finally get my new music. I need some news music. I need some popcorn plug music. I need a theme song for Extra Butter. What else? What did I say I needed cinematic music for?
I have no idea. You just keep adding to that list. You better keep record of that list, Eddie.
I know. So when I take you to court and I have to get my list. So thank you as always, and please be sure to join us next time. Until then, I'm Eddie.
And I'm Tammy. Bye.
Peace.